Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. And right now it's 2:30, which means it's time right now for our afternoon tea. And before I would like to introduce you our guest here today. So one more time, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Wesley, and we have Lawrence here today. And the guest later, I'm going to invite. Just hold on for a while. All right. And so what I'm going to do is, so every single day for the past, I don't know how many, lost count already, right? And so we have been doing this What Malaysian You Should Know online series to help people in terms of giving the right source of information, where we invite special guest speakers here today to share views on some concepts to help all of us here stay sane, stay educated, stay informed during this current MCO. And so before I officially start, I would like to welcome and invite all of you here to like and share this video so that we can benefit many more people out there watching this video. At the same time, when you like and share, do make sure that it is on the public status privacy setting so that we know that you have already shared, because we will be picking a few lucky winners right here, where if you like and share and it's public, so we will identify a few lucky winners here to give away the limited edition Ton Mahathir Touch and Go card. All right, so here we go, Lawrence. Thank you so much for coordinating right there. And again, I would also welcome all of you to join this, share with your friends. You know, we have been having a lot of good feedback right here. And for those who are here, so do say hi to our guest here today. So we have Isabelle Choo, the mental health advocate, entrepreneur, and social media content creator. So with that, everybody say hi, drop your hi to Isabelle. And Isabelle, say hi to your friends.
Hi everyone. Firstly, I just like to thank Dato' Lawrence for this opportunity, and thank you Wesley as well for leading this. I just want to say that before I introduce myself, I just hope that everyone is home safe and sound, and everyone's doing okay. Just take care of yourself, drink a lot of water, and just enjoy this moment, and we'll go through it together. So my name is Isabelle. I'm currently 23 years old, and I am a mental health advocate, entrepreneur, and social media content creator. Thank you.
All right, good. I like how precise you introduce yourself, even your age. I suddenly feel very old. Hi. All right. All right. And for those of you here, so Isabelle. Yeah, Isabelle. So Ashraf, say hi. Hello, everybody. Jana, say hi. Sasha and Lee, say hey.
Hello,
Beautiful.
hello, Ashraf.
I think Sasha could be your friend,
Hello,
though.
Jenna. Hello, Sasha.
Okay, so I think before we go into before we go into the topic mental health, I would like to ask you, right? So what have you been doing at home, and what is the first thing you want to do after MCO?
So many things to do on my list, but the first thing I think I really want to go and eat Sarawak kondomin.
Okay.
At this particular restaurant nearby. It's really good, and I've been craving it. And I think I even dreamt about it once, in the past 2 weeks.
You said maybe where is it?
But yeah,
It's not easy to get a good
it's called
one.
Yeah, correct.
Sorry?
But this is really good. It's called RK Noodle House. Wow, free promotion. But it's very good. It's recommended.
Where is it located? Yeah.
It's located at Kajang here, C180.
So
But they have a lot of branches.
Okay. All right, good. So again, you want to try out the noodle right there. And for those of you here again, we got many friends to say hi to you. I've got Huyen, say hi, Belle. Daniel Stone, say hi. Hi, Belle, as well. Okay, so let's do this a little bit, because I think I want to know you further. I mean, we all want to know you further. I mean, like, besides your age that you mentioned just now. All right. Can you share with me? Can you share with us more, a little bit introduction about yourself? Like, what do you do, and just a little bit in-depth information about you. Are you catching this?
Yep. So right now, actually, am I okay?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So right now, I actually have my own skincare business online. So it's a solely e-commerce business, and we don't have like a physical store or anything like that. It's called Nudescapes. So I started this business right after my graduation, end of last year. Yeah, so immediately after my last final exam paper, I actually started to get to work into developing the entire products from scratch. And then I just really wanted to put a lot of my passion inside the products, and then have a little bit more fun and creativity with the packaging so that it looks a bit different from like other products as well. And that was my project for the whole last year, and I'm still doing it until today. So apart from that, I'm also like a social media content creator. So I do post up different type of content, and of course I do like to focus more on things like mental health, for instance, because I definitely want to share with more people how, especially to the Malaysian youth as well, like how this is actually really important apart from just like the usual skincare postings or like just very superficial things. You know, I want to dig deeper into how people are feeling and how we can actually improve ourselves in so many ways when we tackle that lah. And apart from that, I do have a full-time job as well right now in a social media agency. So this is basically the three things that I'm doing at the moment.
Oh, cool, and you do a lot of stuff, right? Cool. Okay, I think you mentioned one good thing, which is very related to the topic here today. So you mentioned about the postings and you talk about your own thing that you do, and you talk about mental health. Would you mind to explain? Okay, just curious, why mental health and why is that a topic that you are so passionate about?
Okay, so for me personally, I've always been a very people-oriented person. So I like talking to people. I like getting to know different types of people and all that. And I really like to hear their stories and their backgrounds. So, of course, how the passion grew or how I felt the need to do my part talking about mental health was definitely when I went through depression myself. So I won't go too deep into anything because I want to keep things light and positive, of course.
Yes.
But yeah, but of course, going through something like depression, especially like at such a tender age, right? Because I actually got it when I was 16 years old. So I was like, I actually went to a psychologist, and then it was officially like clinically diagnosed as major depressive disorder. So it was definitely very terrible for me, but at the same time, going through that and going through it for a duration of time, right, 2 years, definitely matured me a lot, and it taught me a lot as well. And I think why I'm so passionate about it is because I see a lot of people suffer from these kind of things, and there's not enough voices, there's not enough platform where people can discuss these kind of things without feeling ashamed, or it's still a bit taboo, I feel, in our society, unfortunately. So I just want people to feel more open and to know that it's very okay to talk about these kind of things, and that if anything, it doesn't show that you should be ashamed of yourself. It actually reflects a lot of your bravery.
Right.
I think that is very 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 good, and a very good statement that a lot of young people, and not only young people, maybe the people who are going through this may be afraid to share and talk to people what are the troubles and stress that they are going through. A follow-up question to this, Isabelle. I think you mentioned that at the age of 16, you have actually spoke to your psychiatrist. May I also ask, other than your psychiatrist, which helps you clinically and professionally, who are the other people as well that you have been consulting to, who you speak to, who you actually share your problems to?
Okay, in my case personally, right? Because depression is actually quite a unique thing, I would say. It's like a lot of people will advise you quite easily, hey, why not you do this? Why not you talk to someone? Why not, So there's a lot of recommendations. But when you're in a depressed state, right, it's not easy to take any of those recommendations because you're already not in your best mental health. So it's not easy to just absorb answers and be like, okay, I'll do this, because generally you're not feeling good anymore. You're feeling very down every day. You don't have the energy anymore. So for me, I want to say that like having a very good support system is important. And in time that helped me. But I have to admit, right, that everyone's case is different. And I cannot just say that, oh, when you have a good support system, everything will be okay. Because I have a very good support system and my family is amazing. Like they are there for me all the time. But even for me then, it didn't help me enough, unfortunately, So even though they're there to lend a helping hand, but if you are not open to letting them help you, then it might not be as, it might not be effective as well lah. So apart from like my family who did a lot for me, of course, like throughout the process, but it's also very difficult for other people to reach out to you. So my point here is that who helped me the most is myself, because it actually really starts with you. It is your mental health that we're talking about, right? So it's your feelings, it's your emotions, and no one else knows this more other than yourself. So, and when you're upset, you don't really want to go and blah, 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 talk to anyone so much also, right? So you will know it deep down. And it definitely starts with number one, accepting it first. So apart from just like, shoving it under the bed and like just, sweeping under the carpet. Wrong. Yeah, rather than just sweeping it under the carpet and everything, it starts with acceptance. And unfortunately, this is one of the hardest things to do lah, because it's hard to accept things that you are very, very, disturbed by, or if it's very unfortunate, then it's hard. So this first step is crucial, but it's also a step that not a lot of people can do.
Right. Yeah. I have a follow-up question, which I'm very curious to know. How does someone differentiate stress and mental distress? Because I think a lot of people here, some friends that came and approached, I'm stressed, therefore I think I got depression. But I don't think so, right? So how could someone tell between stress and mental distress or depression? How can somebody draw a line between these two?
Thanks, Wesley. I think that's a really good question. Regarding this, I've actually spoken to a lot of my friends who asked me this question as well. And I think, right, I just like to put it out there first that I do have a degree in psychology from when I studied in Monash. Yeah, so I want to say that some of the things I'm saying here are not just, like, of course, I really want to input like my best advices to give out as well, my best sharing. So the difference between just regular stress, let's call it, okay, regular stress and like a real long-term stress, of course, it has a lot to do with like number one, what happened. So factors needs to come into play, and number two, like the duration. So duration includes like contingency. Okay, so I'll give like a very brief example. Okay, let's say you factor lah. Okay, let's go with factor first. Let's say your exam is coming up next week and you are stressed out. So of course that wouldn't be considered like a mentally stressed kind of like, like a real problem to attend to lah, because everyone who is facing the exam will feel an extent of stress, right? So that is a given. So similar to all these kind of other situations, like stress levels are always, it keeps us on alert. Stress is good actually, a good amount is always good for us, right? So it keeps us up, it keeps us alert. So of course, like stress during exam, all that, it's okay. It keeps us focused and we want to do well. That's why we're stressed out. But if let's say you realize that even after your exam and now you're having your holidays and stuff and you're still facing stress, then we need to dig deeper into what exactly is making you upset or stressed right now. Because now that we've gotten your factors, your little like situational factors out of the way, then we have to like attend to like what is really bothering you inside here. So of course, with that said, right, like a lot of people, they tend to throw out like words such as I'm really stressed, I'm really depressed. Unfortunately, I do agree with you that like sometimes it's not very advisable to just like easily say these terms, I feel, because there are people who are clinically diagnosed, for instance, and that they are actually going through something very serious, right? So if you were to just maybe you misplaced your phone and then you lost it and then you say you're very depressed, like of course, as for someone who has been depressed over very, very real life and death reasons, then we might get a bit like offended. So of course, to prevent all this, like I think it's important to make sure that whatever you are saying, even as used, like let's just think twice first and like not simply say all these terms, because we need to be careful and respectful of like what other people are feeling. Yeah. So back to your question regarding how is the normal stress and the long-term stress, the duration, like I mentioned, if it's just a short-term one, just over little like incidents or scenarios like that, then it's okay. But if it prolongs over a long time, then it's definitely something that's worth listening to yourself too, and worth like investing your time in finding out what exactly is the problem.
Yeah, I think this is a very good answer on how do we differentiate And I think, of course, definitely there are some other symptoms as well when you are undergoing a long-term stress. But before we go into that, I really want to, you have shared that you're such a young person, and definitely Wesley and I, we are not from the same group. I think in our time, our age, to get internet connection, we are super thankful. But people from your age, as long as you have a low connection, you already stressed, already have mental stress. So I want to ask this question: do you think a regular young people, the youths out there today, are most of them actually undergoing stress, mental health problems? Or do you think most of your friends, maybe for example, are also undergoing such?
Sorry, do you mind repeating the last question?
What I mean is, do you think regular young people or regular youths today in Malaysia are facing mental health issues, or are they under prolonged stress? Do you think regular young people today are facing the same problems?
Okay, definitely, right? Since there's so many of us, there's definitely I definitely cannot exactly conclude any cohorts as such, but I do realize that there are a lot of people facing mental health, as in like real depression, real anxiety disorders and stuff like that, right? And they always, like, a lot of my friends even, they don't know where to go to deal with this. And there are not enough like resources like psychologists or this kind of stuff for people to attend to as easily as it were to be in the US, for instance, because it's still kind of taboo here. So the suicide rate, I've heard, has increased a lot as well in Malaysia, and I think that like there must be something done for this issue, because if our entire being is dependent on our mental health,
Yep.
without taking care of our mind, a lot of things will just like fall out of place. So
Yes.
yes, I agree that there are a lot of youth who are facing this problem, and not even youth, but like even elder people and all, because this is a very human thing that we're talking about, right? And it does not like just pertain to like the young people, for example. But I think being at such a young age is definitely is we are definitely more prone towards like all these kind of like different uh we're definitely more prone to like all these factors because we're growing up and everything is quite new to us still. And we're learning how to like handle adulthood, so of course like it needs to be paid more attention to lah for the youth here.
Right. I want to just take this opportunity, right? So since you talk about this very interesting topic, I know we talk about all this youth and all, right? So I think the next question I want to address to you is basically, how did you manage to come out from this? So what did you do? And before I allow you to answer, right? Because I think there are a lot of people who's quite interested in the topic here today. So we have Edmund here. Say hi to Edmund. Edmund Tan is here. Edmund, hi. Say hi, Isabelle. Kenny Tan is also here. Say hi, Belle. Julia, say hi, Isabelle. All right, so these are some friends joining us today, and I also want to take this chance to invite to also take this chance to invite, for those of you watching, like and share this post so they can benefit many more people out there. And do make sure that once you share also, do make sure that the privacy setting is also at the public, so we know that who have shared. Then we will be selecting some lucky winners to walk away with the limited edition Touch and Go Tun Mahathir Touch and Go card, right? Okay, so the question is this. So you mentioned a lot about the causes, and then you tell me about the stress and all. And which makes me think of this one quote called, "It's okay not to be okay." I think don't punish ourselves too hard. So my next follow-up question is this. So what did you do? What did you do? What are some steps that you have taken? What are some strategies that you personally have taken that have helped you to move on and to basically overcome this? So what did you do, and who did you meet? What did you do? Can you elaborate more?
Okay, so sorry, is my line okay?
Yeah. You're okay. You can just
okay. Okay. So what I did personally, like I mentioned earlier, acceptance is like the first thing that you have to do.
Yes.
Your entire recovery as a person who's going through this, right, begins with the acceptance stage. So once you accepted what happened, and that you just tell yourself, okay, that has happened, let's start to move on, let's recover. Then of course the next step will be changing your your mindset, so your cognition. So cognition in this sense means basically your thinking, how you are thinking of what exactly is going on. What do you want to do to get over this? How do you want to help yourself? So it starts with your thoughts first. And then proceeding with that, what I did was that after I've decided in my head that, okay, I want to get better, I want to continue enjoying my life. Life is very precious. I don't want to waste it being upset every day. When people are struggling and trying so hard to live, why am I here just giving up? So I don't want to give up, right? Once I have decided that, then it's time to change my behavior. So behavior comes in the form of physically going out. Let's not stay at home the whole day and look at the walls and you have to make life changes. You need to be more active. You actually need to take steps and measures to physically feel like yourself again. Your mind and your body needs you to get back to a routine, the power of routine, right? Get back to a healthy routine of your mental health, because if you were to just stay at home and tell yourself, I'm going to be better, I'm going to be better, but you still sit at home, it's not really going to do much for you, because your body is very confused. It's like, am I really getting better? So you have to kind of, in a way, take baby steps and just go forward. Even if it makes you upset, sometimes you take 3 steps forward, and it's okay to take 1 step backward after that. But as long as you keep moving forward, whether it's your mind, whether it's your behavior, and then you will definitely improve, because that's what I did as well. I decided I would just go back to school, even though I went back to high school and I wasn't recovered yet. But I decided I'll just go for it. I continued to take my SPM in that year, even though I got permission from my school principal. Actually told me that I can skip it and defer it by a year because of my case, right? But regardless, I told myself I'm not going to push it, because I'm coming out of this stronger. I want to prove to myself that I'm actually recovering well. So I'm going to try it no matter what. So I tried it. And I mean, I'm very thankful that like everything turned out well for me lah. So yeah, I just want to say that like acceptance is one, then changing your mindset, and then changing your behavior. And most importantly is to sustain it. So don't give up on what you have done. All your efforts cannot go to waste, and you cannot forever take your 100 steps back and then go back to this bad routine. You need to make sure your healthy routine is what you want to stick by. And this is something that you need to decide for yourself, because it's how much you want it yourself.
Right. All right. So we're going to answer to that. And I want to do a follow-up question. So you mentioned about acceptance and all, right? So my curiosity is, what made you decide, like, okay, I think I'm going to change? What was that point that you decided that you really want to change? How did you decide that you really want to have a positive inner voice? What was that moment? What made you want to change?
I think I'll be very transparent here, because of course not all cases are just like very easy to handle, or like there's very different severity levels when it comes to depression, because it's very complex, right? But for me, not to scare anyone here at all, but then for me personally what made me just like snap out of it was when I actually wanted to take my life at one point, because it was just really bad. And then the thought of my family just stopped me.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what definitely just made me snap out of it, because it's like, I mean, as a person who is upset, or like who's going through depression or anxiety or any kind of these problems, at the back of your mind, you know that like what you're doing will cause hurt to your family or friends, right? So these are the things that we know of. But then when you're actually in the situation and you're so upset, sometimes you neglect it, because you're so engulfed in your own problems. You don't really think of what if this person is upset, or what is that, because you're so just in your own zone, right? So for me, it's like it was really important that it clicked in my head, because even though I knew it from the start, I needed that snap for me to remind myself that, oh my God, like what am I doing? Like really start to ponder about why do I not want to do this if I really, really know that it's gonna hurt them? Wouldn't my recovery be something so great, and like it probably warrant a celebration or something, but so why do I want to do the opposite and cause so much pain to everyone? So I will try to work on myself lah. Yeah, so that's what I told myself lah.
I think it's very good answer that sometimes recovery also comes from our own self. Actually, those people who know me very well, and I also wrote a book last year about how I failed in my F&B business 8 years ago. I lose about 6 million in the whole venture. But of course, I always tell my friends that I'm thankful that I also didn't kill myself, that I'm still here doing live interview with you and Wesley. So I think it is very important that each and every one of us know what is the best way for us to release our stress, to release our, some activities, routines that will actually help us to, calm down or even to, move our attention to something else. So, what is your take on this? How can we find our own way of actually relieving our stress and positively?
That's a good question. I think, right, in psychology, we actually call this coping mechanisms.
Yep.
So basically, like, how do you cope with a situation like that, right? Or how do you just make sure that you're on a healthy power routine or anything? But since everyone is different, my answer would be that look at yourself, ask yourself, what do I actually like doing? So I don't want to give a general answer and say, everyone, let's do yoga, like, because some people just don't like yoga, right? So ask yourself, what do you personally like doing? Like, maybe think back of like those times like 10 years ago, before all the work and the schools, what did you enjoy doing? Like playing the piano, for instance, that made you happy, So do more of these kind of things, but more importantly, I think you should start with a breathing exercise. So breathing exercises are actually very simple, as you know, it's literally just inhale and exhaling, right? But I think it's really crucial because like it makes you pause for a while, just being very present, being very mindful of like your thoughts, at even though if it's just a 3 inhale 3 exhale thing, but you're actually being in the present.
Yep.
So we're always like caught up with our past, our future, our worries all over the place. But breathing helps us just stay focused for a while. And when you've done that, just tell yourself, okay, like I want to bake a cake now. Just do something that excites you. So do this at least like 3-4 times a week. Just at least to just calm yourself, have some me time. You owe it to yourself, and you deserve to have your me time. So definitely think of what you want to do, try different things if you like, explore new things, ask your friends, say, is this like doing this fun, So yeah, like exploring, and that's what life is all about anyway, like you always keep exploring new things, and then you'll find that like you like a lot more things as well, and keep yourself busy with the things that you like lah.
Something that nobody has ever guessed it correctly. Maybe I'll throw this question to you. It's a bonus round question. What do you think is the thing that I do to distress myself?
Hey, Lawrence, we can have the viewers to also come and guess, right?
No. I think everybody is going to say eating, right? So don't start that. Eating is definitely not my way of distressing. What do you think is my way of distressing, Isabelle?
You can I get like 2 guesses at least?
Sure.
Okay. You like to watch YouTube videos.
Yeah,
one more try. Not related to food, right?
No hint lah.
Very pain.
Okay. You like to play with animals.
Okay.
I think my staff or whoever that knows me very well, I do a lot of groceries. I do a lot of cooking to actually distress. Actually, these are the 2 things that I love to do. So my staffs or my team who knows me very well, I try not to have any appointments on Saturday mornings. People who know me well, Saturday mornings, I will definitely be at any grocery store to buy tomatoes. So I think this is my way of relieving stress. So power of buying tomatoes. Okay, Wesley, over to you.
Not Dota, man. I thought you told me last time you like to play
Dota. But Dota is taking too much time. I can't be playing Dota every day. But yes,
all right, so let's get right into this. All right. Yeah. Okay. So we got some friends to say hi as well. We have Kenny Tan to say hi, Bell, Julie Ng, Louis Zimin say Lang Lui. Amma say hi, Isabelle, Kenny Tan. I can't see a response. Ang Wei Chen, we got a question later. I'll take in your Q&A. Just hold on a bit. Aaron Choo says, good content, keep it up. This bell looks like me, wonder if you're somehow related.
That's my brother.
Good guess lah, good guess.
Okay.
Daniel Stone says, sleeping on time. Aaron Chu says, is it singing emo Chinese songs in the shower, Lawrence? Yeah.
No, I don't do that.
Sorry if I mispronounced Majori Loon or Mayori Loon. Hi, Bell, great content. All right, so here we go. Okay, my next question would be, okay, so before we take in the Q&A, if any one of you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Okay, so here's the take right now. So now we talk about more timely information. Now it's MCO. Some people will be very stressed. Things can't be done. They can't have things being fulfilled. You know, they can't do things that they want to do. They stay at home. So what advice would you give to our audience here today to prepare for the future during and post-COVID?
Okay, so regarding this MCO, definitely it's a very sudden and unfortunate thing for, globally. So I think what we should do is, again, to accept that this is the reality as of the moment. Let's not fret too much about it. Let's not spread all this news without necessarily checking if it's from the right sources, because what we're doing is that we're just spreading a lot of worries around. So definitely what we can do at home is that when you're at home now, have some time to just sit down and think about what you would like to do, once the MCO is lifted. Be present, be in the moment, be with your family, spend time with them, because previously everyone complains that they don't have time for this and that, right? But then now that you're at home, you realize that actually time was never really a problem, and that if some things were to still get delayed, then you know that it's probably a self-discipline issue lah. So I just want to say that being at home, right, it's a really good time for you to actually reflect on your actions, your past actions, and that if anything, I feel like it's actually good for us to not go out so often, like as much as we did previously, and to just have some time to not just reflect, but to really plan out what your next steps would be, moving forward, because now time is on our side, right? And it's really important that we can actually map out what we want to do, and just look forward to going back out lah. But even regardless, right, even if we go back out, I hope that everyone will realize that even if the MCO is lifted, it doesn't really mean that the COVID is gone. So we don't just go out and that kind of stuff lah. I think precaution is very important. And yeah, at the end of the day, what this has taught me, what MCO and COVID has taught me, is that you may have everything in the world, whether it's money or this or that, but then at the end of the day, your life matters most lah, So when it comes to a real life and death situation, no one flaunts their money or anything like that. It doesn't really matter anymore, because we just want to take care of ourselves, our family, our loved ones. And in that case, I think it's very important to, in these very difficult times, spread a lot of positivity, just support one another, everyone just be a bit more optimistic, tell ourselves that all this will pass and then we will come out stronger. So yeah.
I think that's very, very good advice. And actually, I think later by 4 o'clock, a lot of Malaysians will go through another round of stress when the Prime Minister is going to make some announcement later. So stay tuned, have your tea and relax. But Isabelle, I really want to ask this question. I'm sure a lot of us have cheat days, right? So there are a lot of times that we actually try to cheat ourselves, and we try to, get out of routine a little bit, That's why I never successfully slim myself down. It's almost impossible for me. So it is actually creating me more stress. But Isabelle, when you're going through all these routines, we must also have some people that are check and balance on our routine, and be always there to support us. Not only support, but also to tell us when did we do it wrongly. So in your case, who is that? Who is the person that is your check and balance, your ruler basically in your routines?
I just like to, so many names all coming to my head. But I would like to just highlight 3 persons, 3 very important key players lah in my check and balance for sure. Definitely my parents. My mom and dad are the real OGs. Hi mom, hi dad. but yeah,
Okay.
I think they're here. But
Right.
yeah, I think they have always been there to support my dreams, which is really important, of course. But they
Yeah.
will always be there to also make sure I'm on the right path and not derail. So that's extra important because everyone can have very, very ambitious dreams, And when you have
Yeah.
such big dreams, right, your expectations are a very, very high one, right? Because you want this and that and everything. So it's important that someone brings you back to reality and to guide you properly, like realistically as well, so that you can manage your expectations also. So
Yeah.
my parents are amazing. They did a good job, and I love them a lot. They have always been supportive of me, and I don't even know how to express more gratitude, lah, to be honest. And apart from that, I have to say my boyfriend Dylan, he's also like my key player in making sure, because he has been with me for 4 years actually, and he knows me in and out as well. He knows my style and everything, and I think it's actually really important that whoever is who's supporting you or helping you check and balance these kind of things is someone who actually gets you, someone who actually understands you, and not just a passerby who assumes that he or she knows everything and then judges you, and then after that you get affected by these kind of things. So I think for me, I listen to people who knows me. I'll take their advices, so I would usually ignore all the ones that like actually don't really know me, or even if you just know of me, I don't think that's actually a fair amount of knowledge for you to judge initially lah. So of course, like, yes, back to my bottom line, my mom, my dad, and my boyfriend Dylan. Yeah.
You just officially broke a lot of people's heart, I think, on the
Yeah.
comments. But
My
Wesley, over to you.
All right, so we're gonna take in some questions right here. So Jin Y Chu says hi, darling. Kiko Tan says hi. Okay, so we note questions from Wei Ang Wei Chen. We know your questions. Edmund Tan, Derek Balakrishnan. We note your question. Hold on for a bit. So we got Aaron Chu and say, wait, I'm not one of your check and balance people. Jin Y Chu. I think these are your like siblings, huh?
yeah, both my brothers.
Okay, let's take one question right here first. We begin with Wei Chen Ang. They say, hello, Isabelle, Wesley, and Lawrence. Okay, so the Q&A addressed to all three of us. May I know how did you come up with the entrepreneurial idea, although you had faced so much during your younger days?
Hi, Wei Chen. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for your question as well. I actually really like your question because I wanted to share about this, but I forgot it. So thank you for reminding me. Okay. So how did I come up with the idea, especially during when I was facing like all the depression and everything, right? For me, right, what I realized interestingly was that because I felt that I lost a lot of my years to depression, right? I lost a lot of time in a way. I felt that a lot of time was wasted. I could have done a lot more, I wished, because these are the years that you can't actually take back. You can't actually go back in time and fix it, right? So spending 2 years being actually in that state was very, very it's a very lengthy and very dreading duration lah. So the moment I recovered from depression, it was very important to me that I make up for the years. So actually do more than I even think I can. So
Right.
going all out, in other words, because that is something that I wanted to prove to myself to make up for the years. And I told myself that like I'm not gonna let that 2 years dictate my future. And if anything, I want to start fresh and do what I want to do, and I'm just gonna try my best. So how I came up with like the my business, my company Newscapes and everything, was that I really wanted to just focus on developing something with my own hands, you can say. Developing something that I want to be very proud of until the rest of my life, you can say. Because I want to prove to myself that I can actually do this, and which I did. So it was a very good achievement for me, not just on like a business point of view. Let's not talk about the financial stuff or anything, but talking just more of like how I proved to myself that despite going through all that I've gone through, I'm so capable of still doing this. That means I managed to successfully come out whatever it was, and to do things better for myself, because no one else is going to do it for you. They can guide you, they can advise you, but at the end of the day, it's you who starts with the first step into doing something. And I wanted to see it physically. I wanted it to be something I can hold, like a product of my own that I can hold, and tell myself that this is why I decided not to give up that day. This is why I'm fulfilled today. And I want to continue doing this. I want to keep proving to myself that like I can actually do it. Yeah. Thank you, Asian, for your question. Hope that answers it.
So I think just in very short, I think the very strong message that you've given us is a sense of ownership, is a sense of fulfillment of doing things that you want to co-create that. I think that's a very good point. So thank you so much for that. Wei Chen, hope that you're still tuning in and just give us a thumbs up if you heard the answer. All right, so the next one will be from Edmund Tan. He says, Isabelle, may I know what is the best solution to overcome if, let's say, someone facing so much stress at the same time due to disruption from family and friends, especially at this difficult period? What can they do?
Hi, Edmund. Let me just read your question, yeah? I want to understand it better, man. Okay, so I just like to say that like so sorry if like you are actually facing this situation right now. But let's say you are facing this situation, I think it's really important that like you first accept that this current situation, this difficult period is temporary. It is not going to be a permanent decade thing. So it's something we all are facing as well. So that's the first step. Just tell yourself that it is a worldwide phenomenon, and like let's not let it engulf us that much. We are all in this together in a way. We're all at home together as well. So apart from that, facing stress at the same time due to disruption, I think when it comes to stress involving other family members or like other parties, right, it's important to actually just like have like a sit down and talk to them. A lot of times, I think a lot of people are misunderstood. We all like to assume each other's feelings. We like to assume that person doesn't care, this person doing this, but everyone's assuming wrongly. So to actually go through this kind of like I don't want to say conflicts lah, but like just a little of these disruptions, right? Maybe have like a sit down and like see what all of you can do together to like move from it. Because if it's a topic of like, let's say, a financial crisis or these kind of things, then you guys can actually handle it together and not project your stress against each other, which will make things worse, right? So instead, give your support to one another and then go through it, like solve it together. But of course, this is only if like the problem is something like financial, like an external factor. But if it's an internal conflict, meaning person to person, then regardless, I still think it's important to actually sit down, talk about it, and understand each other's intentions. Yeah, because only then you can actually move past it lah. Thank you.
I think that's very good to actually go together, because I don't think as individually sometimes there's only so limited things that we can do. This is one follow-up question on our audience question, particularly your answer just now. If we realize some people at any of our friends or any of our family is undergoing such pressure or such mental distress, of course you can see certain symptoms. Actually, what is a better way? What is a better advice? Because again, they may not need us to be very sorry for them, but they may need certain assistance or help or whatever we call it. What do you recommend we do if we know any of our friends are undergoing such problems?
Okay, thank you for your question, Dato. I just want to say, right, that I learned this from my psychology background. I agree with this teaching as well. Number one most important thing is to respect the person lah. So if someone were to actually be like, don't talk to me, then it's good that you respect that and that it's not the time to talk, and don't push your way through and be like, no, I want to help you, my intentions are good, I want to help you. I think that's wrong, because at the end of the day, right, like people need time to digest what they're feeling as well. And you have to respect space, and you can actually see some signs when they are more ready to talk about it. So being there when they're ready is definitely the best thing lah. And when let's say you are already in the conversation and this person is willing to get your help, for instance, it's important to not just give advices. Sometimes, right, what we think is best might not be what they think is best, So try not to assume that you are always right, and that just because you are not depressed, that means you know better, because that's not true. Like, you don't go through what they are feeling because you didn't go through what happened to them. So you
Correct.
cannot assume what you are saying is the best thing to do. So the
Correct.
best advice I would say is to actually listen, be empathetic listening. Yeah,
Okay.
be there for them. Just even the occasional nodding and all these kind of cues, just like showing that you're in the present and you're listening to them, and that you want them to know that you are there for them, and that you're not going to judge and you're not going to advise, and that you're just there. Yeah, so being at the present in the moment for them is very important. And even for myself, I had a friend who was helping me go through this when I was in high school.
Sure.
She used to come to my house because at time, like, sorry, this sidetrack, just a bit of my background story.
Sure.
She used to come to my house last time when I skipped school for about 3 months in a row because of my condition, right?
Yeah.
And initially I thought that she was just going to come over and maybe talk to me about like how I was feeling and these kind of things. And like sometimes you just don't want to talk about it, right? But instead,
Yeah.
like, what she did that I felt was very valuable, and what I appreciated a lot about it was that she came over, she brought McDonald's, like some French fries and stuff, some ice cream, and she just brought her laptop and we watched Netflix together. Like,
Oh.
that's it. Yeah. So she came in very okay. She was just like, oh hey, like I brought like fries. So she didn't even like mention anything about my state, and we just went through it together in that sense. So I think it's important that being there, sometimes not even acknowledging the problem directly, would help the person slowly get better to a better routine. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, that's very, very good answer. But that again, your answer actually broke both of our heart again. That definitely shows that we are having an age gap over here. You have Netflix during your high school, and I
You
think
don't.
both of you have TV3 at that time.
Yeah.
I think that's a very good friend that you have. Wesley, over to you.
All right. Don't keep reminding of our age.
No lah, not all also. Okay
Acceptance,
lah.
acceptance, self
No,
acceptance.
when she says school Netflix, I'm like, my school got TV1 and TV7 and all, right? So don't try, right?
Exactly.
All right, so we got one last question here from Derek, and it says that, hi Isabelle, a question. What inspired you to venture into the skincare business? I'm not too sure if you addressed this question before, or what inspired and why skincare?
Okay, hi Derek. Thank you for your question. So what inspired me was that I've always been very into beauty related things. I mean, since a very young age, I remember asking my dad buying me like those kids makeup and this kind of things lah. So I've always liked to I mean, everyone does also. We always want to look good, right? So we want to look good, and very important for me was that I always wanted to present myself well. So, of course, in that process, there is a lot of like, I do focus on like not just how I look lah, but more of like the representation that I'm giving out to others. So skincare is very it's kind of different from makeup. There was a reason why I didn't choose makeup and I chose skincare instead. And it's because something about skincare is a lot about being raw, being bare, and just very you. So you for how you are kind of thing. So makeup is fun and everything, but then skincare is a lot of like getting unready process. So getting back to your natural state, and I think that's actually really important now, because even like my company slogan is just like actually like the beauty from within. So we actually want you to feel the beauty from within, and it starts from like you at your most raw stage lah, you can say. So yes, and I'm very interested in skincare because I like taking care of my skin. I like to make sure it's clean and all this basic stuff lah. Yeah.
All right, so thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
that, Derek. So hope that she answers your question. All right, and unfortunately, we're almost reaching the end of this program here today. Wow, in time flies. It's already 49 minutes into the interview, and so thank you so much for your time. And any last words of encouragement to the people watching here, Isabelle?
I just like to say thank you so much to everyone who tuned in. It means a lot to me personally because I just like, you want to listen to me. I'm actually very thankful for this kind of stuff lah. And I hope that like whatever I've shared with you guys today, you guys do take whatever you feel that is helpful to you, and know that like whatever I'm saying, it doesn't mean that I'm right also. It's more of just me sharing what I've gone through and what worked best for me. But yeah, regardless, I want everyone to just stay safe, make sure that you guys don't go out and like let's just accept this for a while, and then we take our time here and we endure it, and then we go through it together and we come out stronger. Yeah. Thank you, Wesley, and thank you, Dato' Lawrence.
All right,
No
thank you.
problem.
Lawrence, you want to say anything?
No, I want to say thank you so much to Isabelle as well. I think mental health has also been a priority in MyPerintis. I think Wesley also has been joining my mental health programs. We actually have went to numerous universities and corporates to do events and to do talks on mental health. I will share more information with you, Isabelle. In future, you can join us more. We have been to Accenture. We have actually been to Touch and Go and a few more corporates to do this outreach, because personally I felt, again, I'm thankful that I didn't kill myself when I failed in my business previously. So I know it's very important. That's why I would say thank you so much again for sharing what you have shared just now. I think it's important for young people to be continue to stay positive, especially now. Even my staff have joked that if this MCO is extended, they're going to start talking to the wall already. So, well, I think it's important to support each other now. Again, thank you so much, Isabelle, for your time.
Thank you so much again, Dr. Lawrence and Wesley as well.
My pleasure.
And I'm very happy that you didn't kill yourself as well, and that you came out stronger, because look at where you are now. We're actually talking on this platform all because you decided not to give up that day.
Right, cool.
Thank you.
Wow, this is such an inspiring Facebook
Wow.
live interview right now, right? Okay, and a special shout out from Hui An. Says thanks, Belle, for your sharing. It's very inspiring. Keep it up. And okay, so just to do a last shout out here, I will also invite, for those of you watching right now, to also like and share, again, to make sure keep it public so we can address and we have many more people out there. And again, we will be picking some lucky winners to walk away with a limited edition Touch and Go to Mitre card. So stay tuned to that. And also one more shout out in support of our frontliners and the deserving family members. So in MyPerintis, we will be having, in fact, we are currently having a MyPerintis Care campaign, where to support the frontliners and the deserving family. And again, for those of you here, if you tune into our MyPerintis Facebook, social media, Instagram, so Lawrence today with the team, so they have actually went out to support the frontliners by giving them some news and whatsoever. Shout out, good job for that. If you want to be a part of this initiative, I will welcome all of you here to join our Telegram channel right here. So https t.me/MyPerintis. So I will welcome all of you to join this channel so we can be a part of this initiative to help many more people during this MCO. One last thing for me, thank you so much for joining this interview again, Belle. Your sharing has been very valuable, and I really like the part where you're so courageous to share your personal stories, and I think well done, and thank you so much for that. And one more time, thank you so much for your time. And just before we end, we have a tradition of taking a picture. All right, so let's take a picture.
Okay.
Show the love sign to the camera. I'm going to take a snapshot from my end. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, done. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining right here. Thank you, Belle. Thank you, Lawrence, once again. And for those of you here, thank you so much watching this from home. Stay at home, stay safe, and stay awesome. Until then, from us, MyPerintis, signing off. Thank you.
Thank you.